Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Take 5. It is, oh, by the way, February 24th, 2011. It's Thursday morning. We're in the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew chapter 7, and we're getting to the climax. We're almost done. Just got a little ways to go. And we're here in verse 13. Enter by the narrow gate. For the gate is wide, and the way is easy that leads to destruction, and those who enter by it are many. For the gate is narrow, and the way is hard that leads to life, and those who find it are few. Jesus here is asking us, and asking his audience there at the time, to do something that we don't like to do, and that's make a decision. You know, every presidential election, one of the networks, their presidential election coverage, it says decision 2008 last time, or it'll be decision 2012. But you know, sometimes you have to make a decision, and Jesus has been teaching all of this good stuff up to this point. He's saying, listen, now you got to make a decision. Are you going to enter through the narrow gate, or are you going to enter through the wide gate? And he tells you what's going to happen depending on which gate you enter through. If you enter through the narrow gate, he says, the way is hard, and it leads to life. And it also says those who find it are few. If you enter through the wide gate, he says it's easy, and it leads to destruction, and those who enter by it are many. So what's he talking about? Well, if you go, I believe it's to John chapter 10, but I might be wrong. Look it up for homework. Jesus calls himself the gate. And what he's saying is you got to make a decision to follow Jesus. And if you make this decision to follow Jesus, realize it's a narrow gate. Lots of people say they're following Jesus, but you're making a decision to actually obey Jesus. And this gate is narrow. And you know what? It's so narrow that only one person at a time can go through it. It's a personal decision. You can't jump on a bus and go through it. You can't say, well, my church is going, so I'm in there. Nope. It's a narrow gate. You've got to walk through by yourself. You've got to make a personal decision to follow Jesus, and it's hard. Because the teachings of Jesus are hard. We've been reading a whole bunch of them that are very hard. We're going to be getting to a lot more of them that are hard. And it's impossible to obey all of them, but we certainly have to try. That's the idea here. He says the way is hard. And it's also hard because Satan attacks you when you make a decision to follow Jesus. And there are trials. And God works on you. And God actually sends you things to shape your character. And that's hard. Now you could choose the easy route. You could go the way everybody else goes. And nobody will make fun of you. Nobody will persecute you. Nobody will give you a hard time. And that way, there's lots of people on that road. Just your basic run-of-the-mill sinners are on that road. That's, people that don't believe in Jesus. All the false religions are on that road, the wide gate. And a lot of people who would even call themselves Christians. Maybe even a lot of people in the church I go to are on that wide road. Now here's where I get in trouble, see, saying stuff like that. But it's true. Because it's easy. Anybody who's wanting that easy lifestyle, anybody who wants to just have Christian attached to their name somehow, or have a little flavor, sprayed on them that they read the Bible a little bit or go to church, but aren't really living it, they're on the wide road, and it's easy. It's not hard. Just put in a little time here and there, say a Bible verse here and there. That's not what Jesus is saying. You've got to enter by the narrow road, the narrow gate, the narrow way. And he is the narrow way. So I'm going to ask you today, make a decision, one way or the other. And no decision means you're still on the wide road. You've got to look for that narrow road. You've got to look for that narrow gate. It's small. It's not easy to find. But you'll find it in the scriptures if you look. It's not impossible to find. Hey, I'm also going to link a video on my Facebook page, for those of you who are my Facebook friends, a song by George Jones called Choices. It's the same kind of thing. Decisions or choices. And, you know, because we all got to make a decision or a choice. That's what we're talking about today. Man up, woman up, make a decision, enter by the narrow gate. It's going to be hard, but it's going to lead to eternal life. Hey, come back tomorrow for the next edition of Take 5. We're going to be talking about false prophets. Can't wait. Bye-bye.